I think the bigger news of the announcements today was Todd Combs, the one of the investment deputies and CEO of Geico, is moving to JPMorgan. So I don't know if that was a planned thing or what, but that seems like kind of an unwelcome shakeup in light of Buffett leaving at the end of the year. I would say his investment track record at Berkshire, not very transparent. They don't really tell you what the investment managers are doing aside from Buffett. So, I think many of the big moves were made by Buffett anyway. And I actually do think that Geico had some issues with loss costs going up. So the cost of car accidents was going up a lot. Combs's reaction was to cut a lot of costs and shed a lot of policies, which is actually the opposite of what I thought Berkshire would do. I thought they'd kind of ride it out and maybe gain some market share. And I do think Progressive handled that environment a little bit better. So I think it will be a manageable loss, but probably the biggest news of today.
Yeah, Todd Combs, we should mention, was already a JPMorgan board member. So he had a relationship with the bank, and he's going to be advising Jamie Dimon and other senior JPMorgan leaders on strategic issues. Let's talk a little bit about the changes that involve a new general counsel position over at Berkshire as well. So this is a brand new position that they're creating versus, I guess, in the past, they just relied on paid outside help?
Outsourced it, I believe, to a firm that was associated with Charlie Munger. Not a huge deal, I don't think. I mean, I think it makes sense for them to have their own GC. Why not? I mean, Berkshire Hathaway. I think really the outsourcing was in part due to it being related to the company anyway. So I think it's important. Obviously, they're going to face tons of legal issues across all of their companies, and I think probably each one has their own individual. But it would be probably makes a lot of sense to have this all roll up to someone at the top.
What's the call? What's the sentiment out there on the street for Berkshire Hathaway? I see the stock's up about 8 or 9% year to date here, but what's kind of the sentiment around this stock?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because you can look at it and say, out of their core competencies, are they going to do any of that any better now? Right? You've got Buffett going away. You've got Ajit Jain, who is in charge of the insurance operations. He's getting old. He's been selling a lot of stocks, so maybe he leaves. And he was kind of the magic sauce behind a lot of the insurance business. So you've kind of got these two titans of the company, perhaps being gone, and saying, well, how could they be as good in investing or as good at the insurance business? And it would be tough to say that they would be. But when you have Abel coming in, and today I thought was a positive sign of some shakeup, and maybe his strength is he's not Buffett, while his weakness is he's not Buffett also, right? But his strength is he doesn't have to do things the same way, and perhaps he takes a different look at capital allocation. So I think the street's hopeful that we see some more capital allocation come out of Berkshire.
Does Berkshire become a different kind of company under Greg Abel? I mean, how much is he going to keep to Warren Buffett's strategy versus just change things up completely?
I don't think, Scarlett, I don't think it's going to be a huge wholesale change. But I think he will. He walks a fine line where he needs to put some kind of stamp on it, but also kind of stay within the ethos of the company. He'll have far less room with the board to kind of Buffett could essentially do what he wanted. I think any bigger deals, Abel will have to face more board scrutiny. By the way, something else they announced today was he's in charge of all of the non-insurance operations, but he's actually ceding control of some of those. So the person will report back up to him, but he's not going to be directly involved in some of the other businesses, which I think is smart and probably leaves him
delegating, right?
Yeah,
a lot more delegation.
Yeah, makes sense.
Did they disclose how much they're paying this new dude to replace Warren Buffett?
His pay is disclosed. I don't have it off the top of my head.
All right, because I just wonder, you're replacing Warren Buffett. I mean,
they're all paid well. They're not, it's not insane pay packages. It's all cash. They don't pay in stock. They don't dilute themselves, at all. So all the big executives get paid in cash. Huh. And I mean, Greg Abel also owned a large chunk of Berkshire Hathaway Energy, which Berkshire bought.